I want to start by talking about this right here. I want to talk about the love and respect that I have for Los Angeles. Today, recording this, it is January 26th. So before this is a special intro before the intro to this latest Relatives episode. But I definitely want to talk about Los Angeles. If you're only listening to this, I just held up my cap that I borrowed from Morocco. This is what I wear out when I go walk sometimes. And it's Los Angeles in Old English writing embroidered on a cap. And I just wanted to talk about the devastation that, not that they've gone through, the devastation that they're going through. This is few weeks post, and those fires are still raging. Luckily, they had a little rain. So as of this recording, I think I checked and it was at maybe 85 to 95%. The two major fires, the Pacific Palisades and the Eaton fire, was all the Altadena, Pasadena stuff. They're about 85 to about 92, I think it was, containment. So even with the rain, it's still happening. And I wanted to pay the respects of why that city means so much to me. I wasn't born there. I was born and raised in San Diego, and those traumatic, I still claim it. I always will claim it because it's what made me, right? But Los Angeles has a special place in my heart, and it's a special part of my story because it's where Rocco was born and raised. It's where the Supernatural Bear was born and raised. It's where I spent over 23 years of my life since I was 20 years old. My mom died while I was in Los Angeles. It's where I entered the music industry, the art, designer, vinyl, toy world. It's what made me. Because kind of like New York City, especially if you're in a creative sense, LA can also, chew you up and spit you out. But it's such a special, special place. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's so fake. And, you saw the rhetoric, the ridiculousness on social media. We're like, yeah, it should be good. All those stars with all. Well, no. The people in LA are mostly people of color. That's what makes the city go round. And so the amount of love and respect, the people that I've met are heart related, as Supernatural Bear says, and are now part of my tribe. And it's because of my formative years of figuring out who I am and what I'm made of, and being in these incredible industries is all LA. So it was awful to see, because for those who don't know, fires happen all the time. That's not new. But fires happen at this magnitude all at the same time, going from the mountains to the water, like that's different. The level of devastation of full neighborhoods, that's different. So the fact that we had these crazy wildfires and then people were able to come together, and it seemed like community in certain instances worked faster and more efficiently than governments, that was a beautiful thing to see. Everyone come together. And also those that don't live specifically there, we're all coming together, raising funds, sharing resources, all that stuff. So I also want to make sure that people understand that just because it's not covered by mass media, the struggle and the fights to get some type of normalcy for health, for mental, it's all still happening. The fires are still burning, like I said. The air, the things have gone in the air and the water and the soil, the long-term impact of that, the mental health of it all, not just for kids, I'm talking about for everybody, right? There's like this sense of anxiety and doom because we're coming off of the pandemic and then all this stuff's happening. So a lot of people also, not only did they lose their homes, but a lot of people in our communities, they lost their jobs because they worked in those communities that were like knocked out. So we need to continue to share resources, raise funds, all those different things, because the fight is not over. it's a long road ahead, and all cities are special, but there's also something very, very special about Los Angeles and the people in it. So we're going to definitely in the show notes have links to ongoing fundraising efforts, but especially fundraising efforts for those in our communities, those in certain industries, stuff like that. So today is January 26th, so it's only 6 days out from the inauguration. It's been a long January, folks. Long January. And I just wanted to, I feel like we're all going through it. We're all going through it. I mean, I have all these different friend groups, heart-related groups, all these different things. And we're just talking about where we're at. Like, what's the mental capacity? So, though mass deportation efforts in the mass media focus on the Latino community, I just wanted to make sure that we understand that the mass deportation is not just going to impact our community, our immediate community, the Latino community. It also impacts other communities. And there's a resource that I'm going to have on the link in the show notes, and it's by the ILRC. And they're going to have the red cards, the ones that let you know what your rights are when ICE comes, what you can say, you can hand the cards over and all that stuff. And those cards, the link that I'm going to have, it's by the Immigration Legal Resource Center. And they're going to have a link where you can download the cards, self-print, send to a printer, whatever you want to do, in so many different languages. Because you have to also be reminded that we need them in these languages. We got Arabic, we got Farsi, we got French, Haitian Creole, Hmong, Korean, Pashto, Punjabi, Tagalog, Vietnamese, Ukrainian, like so many different ones. So we're going to have that link in there. Shit's moving fast. But the whole point of this, we have to remember, is that they're trying to disorient us. They're trying to overwhelm us and do exactly what happens some of these days, where you just shut down and you're in freeze mode. You're just too overwhelmed. You're just like, ugh, I don't want to look at social media. I don't want to know anything. Like, I'm overwhelmed, because that's what they want. They want us to be overwhelmed, to give up and be in inaction. So we really, 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 really got to be in community. We really got to be in community. Like, we have to brace for what they will do in broad daylight, because they're doing all this crazy stuff in broad daylight, and also whatever they're doing behind the scenes to try to distract us with this other stuff. So I want us to remember, before I get into this relative intro, is that we need to stay hopeful. We need to find joy. We need to set boundaries, because we need to stay mentally and physically fit, because shit's coming. We got to stay in community. And we have to share info and resources, and we got to take breaks when needed. We all know ourselves and we know what we need. Sometimes we might forget, but if we're in community, then that can be like, okay, today my girl over here, she's breaking down. She's having a freak out. So let's ring her in. Maybe tomorrow it's me. So I'm in community and someone notices, like, no, take a beat, take a breath. What do you do? What's going to be good for you to regulate that nervous system? Because, guys, if we go balls to the walls into, nah, fuck that shit, I'm gonna da-da-da-da, then what's gonna happen? We're all gonna lose. We're all gonna lose. So do what you can to set the boundaries, continue to be, find joy when possible, all that good stuff. But know that we're a community, and I want to continue to build this community. So we'll definitely have community resources. That'll be for folks impacted by the wildfires. That's going to be for those in mixed status families. That's going to be those in our, our trans communities, the disabled, anyone that's impacted right now by whatever's happening in this bizarro times. We're going to have links. So what I want to call to action is, if you guys have any resources, let us know. Send links, DM, email, whatever, so that we can continue to grow this resource center. And in different languages or whatever, I want it to be in one place. There's a lot of people doing that as well. But these are resources that I want that are vetted by our community and that we could all use. Okay, so now let's talk about relatives. That's what here. And I was like, gonna do just a solo episode. And I was like, nah, let me just start this with some real shit, serious shit. And then let's do the relatives episode that was recorded in December and that never came out because life, and then all this other crazy stuff was happening. Let's give that to the people, because it's some funny stuff, some levity, some good funny stuff. So I was like, let me just do this serious intro, because this is the reality of where we're at this moment in time, and then go into the relatives intro and put that out, because it's been a couple of weeks. Like, I haven't even had the bandwidth to put some new episode, like some old episode out. I didn't have that, guys. Didn't have that. So, because before it was the flus, right? It was the flus that took us all out. So that's why I was just like, let me just put this out, because I think this is the moment. So what's going to happen is, this is going to be a relative that's coming out. Then I have another episode with the amazing, talented Yamara Taylor, writer that a lot of people don't know was the only woman writer, OG writer for Boondocks, and her amazing, inspiring story. These are the last that were recorded in 2024. And then we're going to go into hiatus, because we're going to go to seasons, and I'll be reposting stuff, maybe doing like solo quick little episodes with updates. And then we're going to go into like a full-blown season, and we're going to have amazing folks that do all the things that we cover here, but we're also going to have folks for, the relatives. We're going to have the nerd out. We're going to have emerging tech journeys that I took, that was only going to be its own podcast, and now I just folded them into here. So you get those people in emerging tech, so you can relate and see why it's important for all of us to be doing that. And then, so that's what's going to be happening. So for this relatives episode that was recorded in December, as you recall, we're going to have election reflections, where Marelli shares her perspective from being in Texas now that she lives there. And then I was in Colombia during the election. We also talk about the book that I am an author of, that I'm one of the 7 authors. It's Women in Web3 Space, Inclusive Futures. And that is an anthology uplifting women in Web3 and supporting STEM scholarships for girls globally. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the drama that I had, my harrowing experience, almost missing a connecting flight to Medellín. That was comedy. And then also we have a question from someone in the audience that we talk about, and that prompts us to talk about a little bit of these car nostalgia, about like the pullout radios and the face-offs. So yeah, I hope we could all come together, and I hope this episode of The Relatives brings you a little joy. Here it is. Hola, and welcome to Word to Your Mama, Relatives. Relatives is a podcast within a podcast. Relatives explores the true story of how a first-generation Mexican girl, that's me, Ritzy P, and a black girl, that's Nyysha, meet in South Bay, San Diego, and become relatives. We discuss black and brown unity, hip-hop, overcoming trauma, crazy movie-type moments, navigating this life, and so much more. Black and brown unity por vida. Relatives episodes come out once a month.
What's up? What's up? We back in the house. Finally.
What's up? What's
forever.
up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Right.
I don't even remember the last one we had, but this is the last relatives of 2024. This will be sometime in December. Who's to say when? But it is December. So,
the year of my fast.
First and foremost, how have you been, Relly?
All is well on this side of the planet, the earth, the universe, what are we? I don't even know where we are. I feel like we're in outer space right now. But all is well my way, aside from the normal life things that are going on in America. But I'm good.
Yeah, man. Like what like quickly, what is you were in Texas when all this shit went down.
Red state, red state is going red state. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Hey, I've always lived in the red state aside from California. So at the end of the day, being black, now let's start there. Being black, I feel like it literally doesn't matter where I live, what state. I'm gonna always have to do me. You know, I
Right.
could live in
Yeah.
a blue state, but still
Excuse me.
got your red people out there. So, hey, you know, it is what it is. I stay in my bubble, but not too sheltered to where I don't know what's going on. I just, you know, head on a
Right.
swivel, as they say, head on a swivel.
Right.
But it's crazy. But I was very surprised to see um, a lot of reds turn blue, or just a lot of people that I assumed would be red were blue.
Mm.
Working with people every day, and in the the neighborhood that I work in,
Right.
you know, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's not cultured. I shouldn't say that, because there's a high influx of other people than Caucasian. So,
Right.
but the financial dynamic is up there.
Mm.
It's up there. So that
Right.
matters, you know. So going to work every day, just kind of being around that on a that in that space more than I'm home.
Right.
I saw the before the elections, and then during, and then after. But again, very shocked to see what I would assume a lot of people would be red were not.
Right.
They were wearing their
Oh.
gear, their hats, they're having conversation dialect. I'm like, whoa, whoa, I'm at work. Like, I don't want to talk about this, but you know, sometimes
Yeah.
a little side talk, but
Right.
very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Hmm. That's
So
fascinating to me.
yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it for me it was crazy because I was in Colombia during the
Mm,
election. So, I always mail in ballot early voting anyways. And also, no surprise, they're going to burn ballot boxes. That's why I've never dropped. That's suspicious, anyways. I don't trust any random box for anything. I
right.
drop it off. We drop ours off at the city hall. You have to go inside, there's security. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
it's that's what we do. So I made sure to do that. And then I was in Medellín, Colombia. We had an event for Hola Metaverso, and I was there with a couple of Americans. Shout out to Max, who's not American, who's French, but he was like, if I could have voted, I would have voted a certain way.
For sure.
And we were so busy, so doing stuff, prepping for the event, that we were so far away anyways, and we weren't able to kind of keep up like how I'm sure it would have been differently, the vibe in here back in the States. And then towards the end of the night, then we were back at the Airbnb working, and then Ozzy was like, "Nah, it's a wrap. I think it's official." He was like looking at the shit, and I was like, "Don't say that." We woke up in the
Right.
morning. I felt awful. Like, I felt
Everyone.
awful, and then
Everyone.
I was like, I don't have time to go through the feelings because we have the first day of our event,
Right.
right? But on top of that, that's our second time in Medellin. I have friends, dope ass artist friends that are from Venezuela, and
Ooh.
they live in Medellin because they had to escape what was happening. And because of that, they can't go back to see their homies or their family members. So that puts it in perspective, right? Like, I'm not literally out in the world, not in the
Yeah.
United States. And there's we're in the same neighborhood we were last year, and there's a guy with the trumpet. It's so beautiful. It looks gorgeous. And then we're like, it's all green. And there's a guy with the trumpet, and he's playing What a Beautiful World
Mm,
on the trumpet. And it's echoing.
mhm.
And it just, me and my friend Wildy, shout out to Wildy, we were just like, we were down and out, and trying to process as quickly as possible as we were getting ready. And I was just like, yo, we live in the United States, but we are part of the world. Shit could be
Yeah,
fucking worse. Like,
for
you know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like, some things are gonna happen that we're not gonna like, but it could be worse. And it just helped me to like quickly be like, yo, we just got to do what we've always done, but at a larger scale.
Persevere.
We got to be in
Persevere.
community.
Yes.
We got to be in community, and we got to share resources. Like, we got to be like, yo, this is like,
It's time to
I,
do this. It's time to do that.
this is
Right.
not going to affect me the way it affects you, but I got your back. What do you need? If I can get something that you can't get, I'm going to get it for you. It's like shit
Right.
like that, like
Right.
underground shit, stuff like that. So, anyways, and then I was like, yeah, this has helped me, blah, blah, blah. Went around the trip, and I was like, it's going to be interesting coming back. Had to do like 3 trips, 3 flights back. And when I'm in the last little plane from Phoenix to Palm Springs, I saw some people in first class, and they were red, like redneck red, and I was like, oh, I bet you they're Trumpsters. As soon as we land, hat on, black hat, Make America Great Again on the side, 45 to 47 on the back, Trump, and I was like, there it is. Welcome home. Welcome
Mhm.
to the reality of home. And I was just like, okay, well, then that's what we're gonna do. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways,
Right.
that was that. Um,
Right.
December. So I don't know when this is gonna drop. So either it just happened or it's about to happen. There'll be links if it's gonna happen. But if anyone's gonna be in Miami at Art Basel, your girl is gonna be a published author. I'm coming out in a book, and
Mm.
it's called Women in the Web3 Space: Inclusive Futures. And it is put together by the founder, Sandy Martinez of Women of Web3, that I'm a member of. You know, the women that we spoke last year and this year at the United Nations. Last year, it's a group of us, 7 women, all women. 6 out of the 7 are Latina.
Yeah.
And we wrote a chapter on, our history on how we got into the space. So that's coming out. It'll be available everywhere. We'll have a link to it. Buy it because you are supporting us. But more than that, a portions of the proceeds go to scholarships for women in STEM.
Oh,
So
nice.
science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So
Support.
regardless of where this is at, there'll be a link to the book.
Nice.
Tell your
Okay.
folks, tell your peeps, tell your friends. Let's get this out there. There's not that many women in tech. There's less women
Right.
in Web3, emerging tech, AI, blockchain, spatial web. So we need our voices out there, and especially women of color. All of us are women of color. Please
Right.
believe it. So
Right.
that's going to be coming out. We have, I'm going to be, they're flying me out, and I'm going to be speaking at, like, only because I can't get there early enough, 3 out of the 4 dates. So I'll be
Oh,
speaking at different things. And we have a book launch in Miami on the 7th during Art Basel. So
nice. There it is. There it is. Support
there
my
it
girl.
is.
Yeah.
There
I
it
can't
is.
wait to see. I can't wait. That's cool.
Yeah, so I can't wait for you to read it and read my chapter. You know what was interesting though, really? And I feel like everyone should do this. Write your own chapter of kind of like looking at your life. It helped me connect the dots
Mm.
of, especially those that are first gen immigrant, children of immigrants. I mean, there was a lot of tears writing this chapter, a lot of tears talking to each other about writing these chapters because it's so personal, right? Like
Yeah.
when you sit down and write your life, like think about your life.
You're like,
Like I
whoa.
wrote from like childhood to now, and how did I end up here? And then it's no surprise I've always been into STEM, but nobody was
Mm.
there to advocate for me, right? Like no,
Right.
my mom didn't understand English. I was supposed to skip a grade. The 2 dudes, like I when I was writing the chapter 9, 2 dudes, Nomer and Rudy. Why do I remember that? Because that's how significant it was. It was us 3. Advanced reading, advanced grades. And then we were like, oh, you guys are going to skip a grade. This was
Oh
3rd
wow.
grade. They skipped a grade, but I didn't.
Oh
And I
snap.
was like, oh, did they send my mom papers and she didn't understand? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
why didn't I skip a grade? And
Right.
and in the chapter, I was like, Nomer and Rudy. I was like, of course I remember their names. Like, of course I remember their names. And
Well, I'm glad
and it's
you didn't
just
skip
like,
a grade because I would have never
I'm
met you.
sorry?
I said I'm glad you didn't skip a grade because then I wouldn't have met
Exactly.
you. You see what I'm saying? How it all.
Exactly. It
Yeah,
all works out. It all works out. But
for sure.
also, like, how I had the picture, and I talked about a little bit how I had the microscope that nobody knew that I got as a prize. And in another world, in another timeline with different support, I would have got my PhD. Like,
Uh,
no doubt about it. Like, I would have been scholarship, PhD.
right.
But anyways, it ended up working the way it worked. But I was looking back, and when you connect the dots, you're just like, oh, you became the person that you didn't have when you were a kid.
Wow.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah. Wow. It
So
makes you take a
when
look at things like, whoa.
yeah, when you push it in perspective. So when I had the hardest critics read my shit because I wanted to make sure my chapter was on point. And I had Raka, who's a wordsmith, and he does not mince words. Like he tells me the way it is, how regardless.
Right.
And then I had your nephew, little bruv, had Supernatural Bear read it because he is on me about my grammar. He's like, you're
I
incorrect,
love
and
it. I
da, da,
love
da,
it.
da. So had him read it. And then I had my two girls, Lilia Rivera, award-winning author, and Alisa Garcia, who was the assistant manager for one of the big bookstores here. And now she moved to a dope bookstore that's Black woman owned. It's called Reparations Club,
Yeah, nice name.
And so Alisa read it and she's like, it made me sad. And I was like, why did it make you sad? And she's like, because you didn't have anyone for you. Like you didn't have anyone advocating for you, but now I advocate for others. So it's like fascinating. And Nyysha, Relly, my mom and my abuelita are in the book. It has
Oh,
pictures. It has pictures,
nice.
and they're in there. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
they're in
definitely.
there.
It's a definite purchase for sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
So yeah, and we're helping young women in the space and all that stuff. But quickly on my way to Colombia, I didn't book the flights, so I didn't have really any say, right, like what was happening, and I had a quick connect in. It was It was 6 a.m. Palm Springs to Dallas by you. Dallas to Miami, Miami to Colombia.
Mm.
That's how it was, right? It was gonna be like an all-day thing. So I was telling my homegirl Wildy, she was flying from North Kekalak to Miami, and we were gonna end up being on the same flight from Miami to Medellin. And we were gonna get there late at night. She'd never been, so she was excited she wasn't gonna be by herself. Oh, and she's Dominicana.
Dominicana. Oh.
So, because if you guys don't know, my godson, her son, Mariano, shout out to Mariano, he's half Dominican. So, there was something in me that said, it's going to be too tight. I might not make this flight. Like, it's going to be tight.
It's weak.
You know what I'm saying? It might
Always.
be. So you saw the videos. And I was just like, okay, it might be tight. So, and then I get to Dallas and, you check the gate. I get something to eat. And I was like, okay, we're on time. We're good. And then all of a sudden, the lady's like, no, she was the biggest bitch ever in
Oh,
life.
welcome to Dallas. Yeah. And they change gates all of the time.
All the time.
It's horrific. Yeah. That's how I
So I was
missed a
just like,
day in St. Lucia, a whole day.
yeah, they suck. And it was thunder and lightning, so I get it. There's nothing you could do. She's like, we can't be on the tarmac. Da, 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 da. I was like, okay. I go, but what happens if I don't make it? She's like, they'll just put you on the next flight. I'm on, when's the next flight? She's like, 10 in the morning the next day. And I was like, oh, no, that's not working. So I'm texting my girl, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it. We are grounded, da, 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 right? She's like, I'm going to see what I can do, blah, blah. I tap T-Mobile so I get free Wi-Fi on the plane. So I've never done that. I click the thing to talk to the flight attendant. He, gay guy, of course, Latino gay guy, comes over. And I was just like, I'm on the aisle, and I was just like, I have this flight. We left. I think we get to the gate if we're lucky when they start boarding. The gate that we land at is 20 minutes away, walking to the gate that I need to be. And he was looking at me. He gave me a look. He's like, why'd you book it like that? I go, I didn't book it like this. I was like, someone else booked this, like that are flying me out. They booked this. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, no. He's like, even if you get an email that you're not going to make it, just go to the gate anyways, because you might make it. And, we'll see what we can do. We'll try to see if people will let you through. I'm in like row 27. He's like, we'll see if people can let you through. There's a lot of people have a lot of connecting flights in Miami. And I was like, okay. So next to me is an old Cuban guy, and next to him is that white dude that you saw a picture of, Connor. Mm-hmm. I didn't know his name at the time. He's like, are you going to Medellín? I'm like, yeah. Are you going? He goes, yeah. He goes, I wasn't stressed until I heard you talking to the thing. And I was like, yo, and I was showing him the maps, and he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah. and he's like, I'm Connor, I'm Ritzy. He goes, that's super cute. I go, thanks. Anyways, he's like, I go, I don't think we're going to make it. So I'm texting Wildy. She's like, I'm talking to the guy. They're going to see if they can get a cart for you. And so I was like, Connor, we're good. We're going to get a cart. And then she goes, oh no, they're trying to get you a wheelchair. And I was like, I could run faster than the wheelchair. And then they're like, oh, now they can't get you a wheelchair because you have 7 people on your flight that need a wheelchair. And I was like, oh no, we're not going to make it. So I'm texting Raka, right? I was like, yo, I'm not going to make it. He goes, okay, I'll start looking at hotels. Like, I was like, damn it. So we're getting ready to board. She's like, what group are you in? I'm like, 5. She's like, she's like, the guy who's helping me, I think he's Dominicano too. He's trying to slow it down. He's going, you know how like sometimes they're like, okay, groups 1, 2, 3, you know? He was like, group 1. And then they're like, go. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. He's like, he's going to try to slow it down. He's like, she's like, you got to get here quick. And I was like, okay. I was like, Connor, we got to book it. He's like, okay. So then they're like, the last announcement, who's connecting flights? Raise your hand. The whole motherfucking plane raises their hand.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, no, but international flights, 90% of the people. So then we're like trying to get out. Nobody's moving. A young girl behind me, she's like, I go, where's your gate? She goes, my gate's 30 minutes away. She's like, I'm going to Barbados with my college, with my school. And she's like, I don't think I'm going to make it. And I was like, listen, I go, when we start moving, I'm going to grab you and you have your stuff? She's like, yeah. I go, I'm going to grab you. Let's roll. Because Connor was going to take a while because the old man, right? So I was just like, okay. So I go, and then I was just like, okay, what are we doing? I have my carry-on because I don't check in anymore. So I start running. I was like, he's young. He can catch up. He catches up. And he's like, there you are. I'm all, Connor. I was like, let's go. So we're running.
And the girl,
I just started a new patch. So I'm fucked up. I'm literally like molecularly on a cellular level fucked up. Have my big ass, heavy ass backpack and my thing, and we're running. He's like, and then it just got to the point where I couldn't breathe. My mouth was dry as fuck. And I was like, Connor, just go without me, Connor. And he's like, no, he's like, we're in this together. I was like, no, Connor. I go, I don't know. I go, I'm perimenopausal, Connor. I go, I don't think I can do this. And so I'm just like fast walking, right? And I'm just like, like that. No. And I was just like, fuck. So I'm looking at the things, you know, it's like 20-minute walk, but we're like speed walking. And I call my homegirl who's already on the plane. She was like group 5, right?
Oh man.
And I was just like, oh, there's no time. I'm not gonna make it. And then I call her on speaker as I'm huffing and puffing. Hola. Ritzy P here. You know me as an emerging tech strategist, creative leader, UN speaker, and author. But today, I'm talking directly to you, the small business owners. So let me ask, is your brand truly reflecting your business goals? Are you standing out from the competition? If not, then I give you the Brand Identity Audit. It's a tailored solution that I created to help small businesses like yours refine their messaging, offerings, systems, and strategy for real growth. Think of it as like a mini consultation tailored just for you. Here's how it works. You start by filling out a quick questionnaire so I can get to know your brand. Next, we'll hop on a 30-minute clarity meeting to dig into your goals and challenges. Then I'll do my thing, analyzing your brand, conducting research, and crafting a plan with actionable steps to take your brand to the next level. Finally, we'll meet one last time to go over a detailed report with clear steps you can start implementing right away. It's all about aligning your brand with your goals and helping you stand out from the market. So, whether you're a solopreneur, a startup, or you're already running a growing business, this audit is for you. So don't wait. Visit ritzyperiwinkle.com/BIA. That's RITZYPERIWINKLE.com/BIA to get started. The Brand Identity Audit. Let's build. Gracias. I was like, Wildy. She goes, come on, you can do it. She's like, where are you at? I go, I'm at something, something, something. She goes, you can do it. She's like, do it. Girl, I'm dripping in sweat. So I was like, okay, bye. Maybe I'll see you. Maybe I won't. Click. So I don't see Connor anymore. So it's a wrap. Like, Connor's gone, right? Connor's, it's busy as fuck too. Connor's gone.
Right.
But luckily, he knows my name. He wasn't gone. He got to the gate. I ran past the gate. Because I'm focused.
Come back.
And I hear someone go, Ritzy! And I go, huh? He's like, over here. I was like, Connor!
Oh my goodness. He ran past the gate.
Oh, and so I get there and I was like, I go, Connor. He goes, oh, he's like, I wasn't gonna leave you behind. He goes, I was trying to get to the gate and let them know that you were here. I was gonna trip somebody. I was gonna do something. And I was like, Connor, I know. He high-fived. I was like, and he's hella tall. I was like, Connor.
Oh, that's
so. Anyways, we are so late. They're like, you're gonna have to check in your bag.
That you never.
You're gonna have to gate check your bag. Like that's how late. So we get to the thing, and you know how like you step into the plane, and then the flight attendants are right there. Uh-huh. So we go there. Like it happened so fast because we were the last ones, and then we were just like, oh, I was like, oh my God, we made it. And then the guy ended up being the Dominican guy. He was like,
wait, he was going to that flight too?
Yes, that's why he was getting the gate. He was because he was going on that flight too. So he was like. So then he overheard us because I was like, I go, but at least we made it. He goes, excuse me. He's like, do you have a friend? I go, yes. And I go, oh, you're the guy. I go, thank you so much. I go, muchísimas gracias. So that's how I had that picture of that guy. His name's Luis.
He was like, all in the picture.
I was like, Luis, can I take a picture? He goes, and anyway, so we're going. And then I was like, Connor, I go, that's my friend Wildy. Girl, I sat down. Drenched.
Oh my God.
I have never
worked out, baby. That worked out was a workout.
Woo! I have never.
Like, you're all like, I saw your picture. You were like I made it. I made it.
Oh yeah, because she took a picture of me while I'm in line, and she posted and she put, this lady ran with her entire soul. And I was like, that is correct. That is the most accurate thing you ever wrote about a person. I ran with my entire old ass soul.
Hilarious. We gotta start working out, man. What the hell? You're on that treadmill, boy. Get some stamina. That's the problem. No damn stamina. I know. I always think like sometimes I have to run like to do things. I'm like, am I even running? Like I don't even feel like my body's running. It just feels like I'm blobbing. I don't know. It does not feel like running. I'm like,
that's exactly how I felt when at that small little portion when I was running. I was like, I don't think this is doing anything. Like,
are my knees bending? I don't know. I'm just
like my legs are going, but I'm just going bleed.
Oh my God. I'm glad you made it because yeah, that would have been a whole nother day. Like I had to do it was
and another expense because it was weather. So they're not gonna pay me nothing. They're not gonna give me a free room. They're not gonna give me shit.
Oh, maybe sometimes American. Yeah, no. I don't know.
If it's weather, no. If they can avoid giving you credit, payment, hotel, they'll avoid it.
Well, I think have their own hotel, which is, I think, Crown.
Oh, really?
Which I had to go to in North Carolina, which was shitty. And they gave a $12 voucher. And I was there at 11 a.m. So I'm like, what? No change of clothes, no nothing. So I had to spend money. I spent the extra $100 at Walmart. Like, it was just a hot mess. I'm like, oh. And I was the first flight of the morning. 4:44 flight. And the plane is broke? Like, what? Yeah. I'm over it.
Yeah.
So,
no. So, So that was that. So we made it. And then I didn't have anything to eat. I had like these little turkey things. Like, I went to the Dollar Tree store and they have those little turkey jerky little bites.
Yes.
Girl, I had nothing. When we got to the Airbnb, we were rationing nuts. Nothing was open. Like, we had no water, so we're like rationing our little water left. And then the power went out,
Oh wow.
and Ozzy hadn't gotten there yet. He was gonna fly in the next day. And he's like, "How's the place?" And I didn't answer. And he's like, "How's
Girl,
the place?" I was like,
you'll see.
"Well."
You'll see when you get here. No words. None. Oh wow.
But it ended
That's
up working out. It ended up working out. But yeah, anyways. Um yeah, so that was that Colombia, and then my last trip flying wise, it was going to be Miami. So if this happens before or after, and then that's it. What's crazy, Nye, is that I haven't been to Art Basel Miami since 2011. That was
wow.
right before I went on the month-long tour of Southeast Asia, where they did two documentaries on it. And I did a wall, I did a mural, and then I had an exhibit there. And then that's when I came back in 2012, and then I didn't know I was pregnant.
Mm.
So I hadn't gone back, and I was like, "Oh, my life is over. I'm not going to travel anymore. I'm
My
not going to
life
da da
is
da da da."
over.
You know, it's
Wow.
like a whole thing. And now I'm being flown there. I'm going to be speaking there,
Full circle,
and
man. Full circle. That's what's up.
it's crazy. Like since 2022, I've been traveling internationally, doing something similar, but in a new. It's fucking crazy how life is.
Coming
So,
around, coming around. You where you supposed to be.
and I was with Wildy, who is Dominicana, and then I was with there in Medellin, who also lives in North Carolina. He was a speaker. He's also Dominican. His name is John Canela, but they call him Jean Brian. Like that's what his like. So we call him from now on. I think that's what his
Baby.
mom calls him. It's Jean Brian. Jean Brian. So I
Funny.
was around Dominicans all the time, and they're talking about like, where are you from? This, and so I was texting Mariano. I was like, where do you go? I go, I'm with Dominicans right now. I was like, you
Right.
need to go to Dominican Republic.
Needs to go to DR, baby. Let's go. I know. I'm trying to get him to go somewhere. Let's go. Maybe for your birthday. Let's go. The big three.
Yeah,
Oh. And then Aaron's trying
yeah,
to be like, let's all meet up where I'm meeting up. Like, it's a whole situation. We'll talk about it.
yes,
So
please,
funny.
please. But yeah, I was just like, it's just funny. Que lo que? Where you? So
Okay. Oye.
he found out where his dad's family's from, like what areas, and I was telling the Dominicans and stuff. But it's funny.
Okay.
It's funny
Oh, everybody connects some kind of way.
for
That's why.
reals.
That's funny. I'm glad your trip
Um,
went well though.
Gracias, Relly. So you mentioned you have something that you want to bring up, a question of
Oh
some
yeah.
sort.
So I had a listener ask me a question about our relationship just growing up because they've listened to some of the other podcasts. So, they let me read it. Let me read it. So they just
Okay.
wanted to know, how did we navigate other friends into our friendship? But I was kind of like,
Uh,
it just happened, like we didn't accept everybody. But I also was talking about how in the beginning, like in ninth grade for me, when I met you guys, I felt like left out because I didn't know anybody.
right,
But
right.
early on, like just because I had you in some classes, like Una in classes, Lisa in class, like other people in classes, I was just like, oh, like who am I gonna connect with? Who do I feel like is like me? You know how you want to feel similar to other people.
Yeah.
So I just knew for me, well, I told her, I was like, well, for me, I had to like kind of get in their group because it wasn't just us first. Like I had to get in their group. So I saw you guys, you and Una mostly, writing the letters,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
the funky letters, like cut out papers, cut out quotes from magazines, putting a letter together. Like it was just so dope. And I was like, what are they doing? Like I was all nosy. What are they doing? I wanted to know. Then I kind of finally saw, and I was like, okay. But I literally do not even remember how we even first start talking. I don't know.
Yeah. I
But
don't
I
know.
knew I was in when I received my first letter like that. I was like, oh, I'm in. I'm in. And I don't know if it was from you or from Una. I think it was probably from Una
Mm.
because she was always doing little letters. I was like, oh, I got to get my magazines. I got to do my stuff. Yes. So with that, after that, I was also explaining like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. Our friend group was kind of tight. Like we were just tight until we all started growing up, and then high school, then everybody kind of just ventured off. But we were still tight. Like, I don't know, did we even really have a lot of other friends with us? Like, you know what I mean? We just knew a lot of people.
We knew a lot of people. Like, I remember my first artist statement, artist bio. I had someone write it for me, and so she asked me all these questions, and I was just like telling her stuff, and I was like, yeah. I go, I never really belonged to a certain group. I go, we were just
Hey,
floaters. We just floated around. Like, we could get in with so many different people. But as
getting
far as
what we
like the
fit in
tight knit group, it was like me and you, and then we were like the inner circle, and then everyone else was like the
around.
one circle out, the next circle out, da 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 da.
Right.
And then I think what happened was, you had boyfriends.
That I have that in the notes. That's hilarious because I put in quotes boyfriends and I put relationships, like female relationships or just friends, Yeah, for sure. But I just think only
Right.
the one time it was affected. Like, I don't know, maybe I don't know. I'm just talking from my perspective. Like, Mike, I think that was the one that affected our friendship a little, not to where it's like, oh, we don't like each other, just
Right.
like, okay, what do I do? I don't even know what's going on right now. Versus Felipe, because that's the only two, like, really
Yeah.
that I had.
Cause
But
cause I if memory serves, like, I don't really think there was a time that you went out without me and I went out without you.
yeah,
Right? Like,
even
you didn't go out with like Michelle and them and Liz and them to
nah,
something. I
nah,
would
not
be there.
really.
Like, I would
It was
be
always
there.
still just me and you, but we just again knew other people
Right.
and hung out. We're together. We're the core, but we're gonna hang out with other people. Like, oh, such and such is coming, or such and such. But that's why
Right.
everybody always like, hey, where's Marissa? I'm like, I don't know. She's off. She didn't come to
She's her
school
own
today. I
person.
don't know. Or they see you. Where's Nyysha? I don't know. She didn't even call me and tell me. Like, yeah, that was a lot of that in high school. Like where
Yeah.
you were if you weren't there, and I'll be like, she's just not here today. I don't know,
Plus,
but
I skipped a lot of school. I didn't go to school
yeah,
a lot.
for sure.
So,
And I always
yeah.
say, still busting the good grades, and I'm there every day getting D's and shit. Like this girl, why was I getting D's? Because I was hanging out. I don't know what the hell I was doing, messing up for no reason. Mm.
Yeah, no, but it was interesting. So, it wasn't until after we graduated high school that you started hanging out with other people and I started hanging out with other people.
Right, because I do feel like there's a portion of time in my memory which I don't even know nothing about you. Like when you was hanging like with all the like the cholas and the cholos. Like I don't really know much about that era. I don't really know where you were. I don't know if I was pregnant. I don't know what was going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was a
You were
part of that.
pregnant. You were pregnant for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
You were pregnant or you just got with a homeboy or something, because that window, I swear, was only a couple of months, but it seemed like
Oh,
forever. But it was a couple,
oh.
because that was Anthony. Anthony hooked me up with the cholas in the in high
The ping
in
pings. Was it the ping pings? What did they call it?
the pingas.
Pingas.
Um
Pingas.
yes, the pingas. That was the date raid drug that they would take as just like recreational. I remember I passed out. Nothing happened to me, luckily.
Oh
And
my goodness.
yeah. No, and that picture is hilarious because that's a window of time. I'll be like, I swear it's only a couple of months, and they'll be like, yeah, right. I go, no, I swear that, like, that I was all like
Oh,
low rider choled out for like a hot second with the little mini skirts and the like.
the eyebrows. But we all had the eyebrows, chola or no chola. Like that
Right.
was
It was
just a way
thin.
of life.
It was
Thin
in vogue.
eyebrows.
It was the thin eyebrows, but that picture is classic where I'm wearing that little skirt and the little vest and the choker, and I have a clear pager that's in my little skirt, and
And you had a red Honda Civic, right?
I had a red Honda Civic, and I
With
think
the
one of the
dash.
pictures I'm posing in front of a red convertible car, someone's convertible car. Turns out that the place that we were hanging out, homegirl's Thea, she was a drug dealer, so that's why we had all the
Oh.
drugs.
And what about your car? What did your dash cover say? To this day, I can't let that shit down. Oh,
That's not. I mean, I rolled with it, but it was my ex boyfriend at the time, whack ass James. The Neek shiznit.
I forgot about the Nick
Neek. Neek.
that
N
N-I-Q-U.
N apostrophe apostrophe.
Ooh. Oh Lord, not the
But
N
it was custom.
apostrophe.
It was custom. I got that at Fan Bam. I
Fan
got that
Mart,
at
baby.
Fan Mart.
I already knew you got that at. I think I was with you when you got that at
Please.
Fan Mart. Hilarious.
Yes. I got a
Hilarious.
custom made. It was gray with
Oh
silver
man.
writing. I always been a silver girl. Silver
Okay.
writing the Neek Shiznit. And it's funny because I
Oh
I
Lord.
forgot about that. But I was just talking the other day to Rock. I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh
And I was like,
man.
oh, I have the Pioneer speakers, 10-inch woofers. People don't know the things that you had to do to have quality
We had
sound in your
some
car.
music, baby. We didn't want no rattling, no rattling. Oh my
We didn't
goodness.
want to. I had to get the
Oh,
appropriate woofer
oh,
size for my
right.
car, and then
Oh,
I had the. I was next level. I didn't have the slide out. I had the face off. Remember? And it was super cute, and I had a little thing like it was like an eyeglass thing, and it was just like my face off.
yes.
Kids that are watching this,
Don't even
back
understand.
in the days, because people would jack your shit, you had a lever on your radio and you would pull it out. It was called the pull out, and it would be like this big, like a little suitcase. But then the next level was you just take off the face of the radio.
Pop the side, pop the front off. Yeah.
And it went in my bag, and it was super, super cute.
That was kind of hitting though. Yeah, the face off is hitting.
That
I
was
wonder
pretty
if they
nice, right? Little
they
face
still have
off.
those. That's a time. That's something of the times. Like, you don't think they have those no more? Because people still get their shit done. Like their
Oh,
radios.
I don't know. True.
Oh no.
I was like, what?
I
Alarm.
don't even know.
Alarm.
Okay. That was my whole yeah, whatever. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Yeah.
Can you see
that
me?
was someone calling. I don't even know how to turn that off, but here we are. Okay, I'm back. That was a mic.
So yeah, face-offs, kids. I mean, you guys don't understand. Like that's a story that I definitely, like, a visual story I want to tell. Like, we had to take off our radios.
It was crazy times. But yeah, I don't think that. I feel like we didn't really have separate friend groups until you went to college.
Yeah.
But I also had separate friend groups before I met you. Like, I had my neighborhood friends.
Right.
But then I intertwined, and everybody, my neighborhood friends knew you, and you know what I mean? My childhood friends. So it was just
and
kind of.
that worked out. I mean, especially when we were earlier this year, rest in peace to your biological mom. When we were there, it was so great to see, like,
Go.
Cheryl. I mean, who was it? Go. See, Go. Yeah, and like just Andrea and stuff, and just like, oh, it's like all of your friends from like different parts of your life. Like you were great about that. You were like, oh, this is da 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 da,
Yeah.
Remember, and I think I said this before, but I think it's fascinating. Remember that time we went to some party, and then those girls were like, who brought the light skinned girl? And I was like, why would she think that? Because I didn't have like a mushroom cut. I didn't have any of it. Like,
right. You're so still weird. Like how you are. That's funny. Because no one was knowing back in the day. Just like my grandma said, oh, the white girl. Yeah. Hilarious.
Right.
People. So yeah, I don't think we ever really had like a significant other groups like we did, or I feel like you did because you went to college. Right. And then I jumped in that group too. Like, I'm jumping in all the groups.
So I don't think I've ever asked you this. So my mom dies. Did you go to the funeral?
I feel like I did. I can't remember. Did I? Because Mariano was born already. Because I remember I took Mariano to meet her.
You did? I don't remember that.
I went to the house. Yeah, I went to the house, and she held them, and she had a little hair wrap thing on. Yeah, I may have some pictures. I gotta figure it out. But he wasn't even one.
I don't think I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. And she was in the living room. Yeah, I totally remember that. I might have a picture. I don't have.
If you have a picture, Nye, please.
Oh, yes. Oh no, but she definitely, because I was like, I need her to meet Mariano for sure.
Oh,
Yep, she definitely met Mariano, was holding him. It was me and Berta. We went, and Mariano, of course. And you were there.
I don't remember that. I don't
You
remember
were
that at
there.
all.
And I remember homeboy, he was just, he answered the door and then he was like, oh, come into the living room because that's where she was. And yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Yep,
don't remember
sure
that.
did. So that's how
That's
I
a
always
blur. It's a
remember,
blur.
like, that's how I always remember, like, how long ago it's been because of Mariano's age. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah, because he's going to be 30. It's going to be
mm-hmm.
30. And they'll be 30 years. No, yeah, for sure. I forgot. But
Dang, that's a long time.
how did, because you were like in a whole nother space. Like you were like mama times, you were pregnant. No, you were pregnant when I transferred to college.
Mm-hmm.
And so how did it make you feel when I was just like, oh, because they weren't as close in the beginning, but they like came to the funeral and stuff. So how did it make you feel when you saw that I was getting really close to, like, say, my rib, like Aaron?
I didn't, for me, it was just like, oh, she's at college. But,
Right.
you invited me, you still included me into like
Right.
your college experience as far as friends on the social side. So remember, I came up the one time, maybe two times, and then I just
You were
kind of,
pregnant.
yes, and
You and Mariana were hanging with us.
hanging hard. And that was, I think, my first time catching a greyhound. Like, I was like, greyhound? I don't want to get greyhound. Like, I'm sitting in the front. I was in the front, greyhound. I was like, oh, this is a lot. But yeah, it didn't never make me feel a certain kind of way. It just like, I've always been just very like open-minded about people having friends. I was never one
Right.
of those types of people like, oh, she's that person's friend, or you have to
Right.
allow. And I don't know. I just learned early on you have to allow everybody to have their own relationship with whomever, regardless of what your relationship is with somebody. So,
Right.
and I think that's so. That's one of those difficult things I think in being a female and raising a female. Like I always try to tell Amaya that you got to watch out for so much. Just being a
Right.
female, you got to watch out, that whole mean girls thing. And then the whole just girls having a different mindset, thinking different ways from looks and from facial expressions and just different things. And you have to really know who's for you. It's kind of hard
Right.
to navigate through, but it's something you definitely have to know.
And I
So
think you and I have been really good about picking quality people.
facts for the most part
I
for
think
me.
that helped, right? Like that
Most
helps. Like it would have been crazy if Aaron would have sucked and you would have been like, and I couldn't see it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
That would
right.
have been tough. But luckily she's
They're
she's
beautiful.
family, like just like you are, like family. And
And then
you
you met her
know,
through somebody else, though, right? I thought you met
um
her through like you knew maybe Danny first, or you met Danny through. Oh no, you met Danny through her. That's how.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I met all, yeah, because that was, and then so then I had to infiltrate that crew because they were already a
Right.
crew,
So you had to go in
you
her
know?
or their crew, right?
Yeah, and I had to
Thank you.
infiltrate their crew. So yeah, but and then now look at, like, it's a
All
beautiful thing
friends.
because all you guys are family to each other
Sure,
and like
sure.
together, like
Okay. Fun times, man. Fun times.
yeah,
It's been
because
nothing
like
but
you
good.
said about women, like there's a lot of the way society handles us and the way we're raised to always question our worth and all this stuff, that there's a lot of us in different phases of our life where we're just like, oh, the love of a guy or whoever is more important, and you're insecure, but you're mean because you're insecure, or you're insecure and you let people run all over you. And it's just like you really 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 gotta, especially if you're a woman, a
Yeah.
young girl, you gotta check everyone's intentions, because someone could be
Yes.
nice as fuck but they're mean and they're using you, and you know what I'm saying, and you don't know that
Right.
because you're just like, oh, I just want to belong, like I have some girlfriends, and then it takes a while for you to be like, oh, they fucking suck, like
Right.
they're not really about
Right.
me, like all that stuff. And I feel like you and I have been really really fortunate to navigate. Like the only person that was like that to me was way back in junior high, and I was just like, ugh, fuck that bitch. and
Right. For
and
sure.
and that was that. And then I don't know, it's fascinating, interesting, and a great question from the listener. Gracias, because I never really had time to think about that we were very fortunate enough to, I think you and I are just those people. We're hella secure for the most part, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right.
secure as far as like, oh no, I don't want that. Oh no,
Nope.
no.
Nope. Nope. Oh yeah, and no.
Yeah. And you in the
For
back,
sure.
no.
Did I remind you I said no? Yes. Yeah, we are
Yeah.
definitely always been secure. And that's probably like where we feed from each other from jump, like, because I always say this, like, and it's kind of mean, but it's kind of been throughout my journey. Like, I don't even like having friends who are weak. Like, I don't want a weak friend. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So then
facts.
I got to go to the weak box. Like, I want to hang out with you a little
You're
bit.
bringing me down. You're bringing me down.
Yeah, that ain't where I'm at. Like when you want to come over here and learn, like after you've learned how to say no, and like, come back over here. But
Yeah,
now that I'm
yeah.
much older, I give everyone grace and I meet you where you are. I
Yeah,
definitely
no,
meet
because you
you where
got
you
to.
are.
You got to.
Yeah,
Or
I
else you're
didn't
going
used
to
to meet
be
people there.
completely alone. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for
No, for
sure.
sure. But if you look, that's a great point. Me, you, Aaron, Rebecca, like quality, strong, independent women.
That are not looking for anything else. Like you have a lot of, and I'm learning through Booski, like not having quality women in your life is so detrimental.
Yeah. Yeah.
Detrimental. And it will have you fucked up
Right.
along the way.
Yeah. So you are what you eat. You are who you hang with. Like
Mm-hmm.
close circles. Like I got some friends that might be a little weak in some areas, and I'm not
Right. And that's cool.
100%
I'm past
and
that.
that's
Like,
fine. But you are on another orbit. Like you're on
right.
another orbit. Like I keep you at a certain thing, like da 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 da. But as like my core group of bitches, like
Yes.
my core people,
We
top
like,
notch, top
yes,
notch,
for
quality
sure.
motherfuckers,
For
quality
sure.
motherfuckers. That's it. Top shelf, top notch. That's
Top
it.
shelf, baby. I like that. Top shelf. That's me. Because
Top
I ain't in
shelf.
the middle,
That's
I ain't
it.
on the bottom. Top
No,
shelf,
no,
for sure.
no. This ain't no middle of the mall shit. This is like top shelf
This ain't no kiosk.
quality.
Ain't no
Major
kiosk.
department store, no kiosk,
No
no
kiosk.
middle of the
No,
mall shit. No, this
for sure.
quality.
So I'm glad we always been that and took nothing. We didn't take no shit. I'm like, how did we get like that? I don't even understand how I got like that. But
Old souls, old souls. I think we're old souls,
mm,
old souls. And I think our souls were old enough to, I think, especially in my case, the amount of trauma that I endured, I was going to survive anyways. Not just survive, but thrive. Like, I think my soul was like, okay, been there, done that again.
again,
Boom. Like,
I got this. I know what to
I
do.
know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
like, and I'm still learning, I'm still healing, but, you know, we
Yeah.
have us. I've known you since junior high. I've known Aaron since I was
Oh,
20, right?
20.
And now I'm healing to a point where I'm allowing other dope ass bitches in my circle. And I'm not,
Because you
it's
know the
not like
do's
a
and the
threat.
don'ts.
It's not a threat to any of you. It's not a threat to me. And it's just like, oh, this is just making me stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yes. Yes. And you have to grasp that. You have to hang on to that. Not like, oh, this person's doing that. I'm going to go over here. No, I'm coming with
no.
y'all. Because I want to,
Yeah.
not that I want to do what
Yeah.
you guys do, but I want to be a part of what I already am. And I just want to add to what you guys have
Yeah,
to
because a
learn.
win for that person is a win for me, and I don't have to be jealous
Period.
of nothing. Like, good for you. This is amazing. Like, if you're jealous of somebody, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're
Mm-hmm.
10 or if you're 55, if you're like genuinely, like, you check your soul, and if you're genuinely jealous of somebody, that's something in you. Like, what is
Yes.
it about you that you are dealing with that's making you feel that
Man.
way? Because in no way should anyone you text me, you're like, I did it. There's no part of me that should be like, damn, how did she do that? Damn,
Right.
none of it. It should be from jump without question. Hell the fuck yeah, Nye. Hell the fuck yeah.
That's how I know I'm definitely secure. Like when people have stuff, say stuff, I'm on it. congrats. And like I tell people all the time, a little situation happened, but that's for another podcast. But it's like I'm already knowing the info, but I'm asking you questions and you're beating around the question. It's like I'm just asking you to get some clarity. I'm asking you to get some info that'll make me grow. I'm asking you to get info so I can be prepared. But you're beating around the bush, and it's like, and I'm also asking you so that if you are in this next phase in your life, I like to celebrate my friends. Maybe I
Yes.
want to buy you a shirt. Maybe I want to give you a little token. Maybe I can give you a
Right.
magnet. I don't fucking know. But you know what I'm saying? But when I see that people are like unwilling to give up the info, it's like, why you gatekeeping? And
Yeah.
and I didn't really think it was that much gatekeeping. It was just more or less like, what? And I try to think of all the areas, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe because I'm trying to get to a certain place that they just accomplished and got to. Maybe they feel sorry. Like I don't hardly ever do that. Like I don't hardly ever give nobody the benefit of the doubt, which is horrible on my side. But I just like people because I'm so straight up. I like people just to say what it is, but I know I can't
Right.
get that all the time. But I was trying to figure out like, well, maybe they're doing that because they don't want to throw it in my face.
Mm.
Maybe. So that's the grace I'm giving them. And it's
Right.
like, okay, I'm just gonna give you that, and I'm just gonna continue to be like, okay, hopefully this relationship blossoms or whatever. But that's still something you got to talk about, like especially being an adult friend. It's like, oh, I just didn't want to throw it in your face, or I just no, that's not me because I know you're just now getting to know me, so you don't really know me, and
Right.
that's fine
Right.
too. But I'm not that person. I'm not the person that's like, oh, I don't want to hear it again. No, I'm more like I want to know everything. I'm nosy as fuck. I'm nosy, and I love to learn. So it's like, oh no, I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me the ins and outs or what you had to do or didn't have to do. Give me some heads up.
Yeah.
Because hello, we need heads up in this
Yes.
world of the culture. We need heads up. Because that's how other people are thriving. Because they're getting heads up. They're getting a little head start. So come on, culture.
Yeah. No,
Get
for
heads up.
sure.
So
But
yeah.
yeah, I appreciate the questions. It's a great question because I don't think we really talked about that. And then I think I love how it led you to say what it needs to be said about women and our relationships to each other, how
Yeah.
important they are. And if
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to have a grip of women friends if
Mm-mm.
you're a woman, but
You
if
don't
you
want
don't
none.
have at least one,
Gotta have at least one good one.
like at least one, then I think there's a lot of inner work that needs to be done because
Sure.
maybe you're too closed off because of trauma. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? There's like a lot of different things. And
Yes.
so,
Yes.
yeah, no, great points. Thank you so much, listener. Thank you for listening to the episodes. And
Yes.
it'll be interesting to see where we're at in 2025. Night, before we bounce, how do you feel that you're going to be turning 51?
Man, I was like 51. How did that come so fast? What the hell? I've done so much this year. I forgot I was 50. You know what I'm saying? I, I was like, I thought I was turning 50 again. Oh, it's just been crazy. But, Perry, she's still playing around a little bit, but she under control a little bit too. She minding her business. So I'm feeling great. Back in the gym.
Nice.
50. Sometimes I do feel 50. I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I be trying to run, running, whew, I'm feeling so heavy. But other than that, 50's been great. It's just been, hey, here we are. Here I am. It's been great. I don't even know what to say. It's just been, I don't know, you just feel different and you feel, for me, I feel like relieved in a sense,
Yeah.
but I just feel hella grown. Like, you can't tell me shit. I'm 50. Like, what? 50. But of course, I know I don't know it all, but I feel like I know it all, even though I don't. I just feel like,
But if you think
I know
about
so
it,
much.
you've lived like we've all lived.
We've
When
done some
I
things.
thought about the other day, I was like, "Yo, I'm 50," and I was like, "Oh, but we deserve to be 50. We've lived a lot of
Yes.
lives. We know a lot of things from
We know a lot.
experience,
We know a lot.
from experience,
Yeah, not no book read. We know a lot.
experience.
Y'all don't even
Um,
understand what we've been through. Pepper
So
spray
now,
to fights.
what'd you say?
Pepper spray to fights. And so, real quick, my daughter
Yeah.
reminds me, Amaya, she reminds me the other day, she's like, I remember when you and Auntie Marissa were talking about some pepper spray and you were poking. And I was like, what? Did I tell you that? Girl, I don't know. She always hears the story. She remembers all the stories. I'm like, yeah. So many times. 2 times pepper spray. The house
2
party
times pepper
that no one has
spray.
anymore. And Mexico. We've been pepper sprayed
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. House parties. Did you see that video I posted about the house parties?
I don't think
It's
so.
two British black girls.
They go hard, dude. The whole house is like yes.
No. They're talking about house parties, and they're like, "But where's the house? Like, there's no more house parties." They're like, "Of course, because where's the house?" And then
Okay.
also, if you have a house, you work so hard to get the house. You don't want
You don't want
randos in
nobody
your house. You don't want anyone
nobody.
fucking up your house. So those are the house parties.
I did see that, but I thought you were talking about another thing, a reel I saw on Instagram. It was talking about house party, and these people in London, they put it on, and you go and it's actual house party. And they have different things. When I find out the send it to you, it was so dope.
Yeah,
I was
send
like,
it to me.
oh, and all you saw were hands up in the air, like it was all crowded and cool.
They should make the club to look like a house with the living room in different rooms, and then it feels like a house party.
That's how it was. And they were going from room to room. The girl was walking, and she's all going from room to room. When I find it, I'm sending it. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be the new move. If anyone hasn't done that, do that shit. I'd be there. Like, let's go to the house party. Because remember, back in TJ, we'd go to the house.
The house, yes. The house. And it burned down.
Because it was a house. And then it burned down.
That was a cute one.
But that was super cute because it was a house. So it felt like a house party.
The times. So when I went to my brother's wedding, we came back through TJ.
Oh, yeah.
So different. I don't know if we talked on this, but it's so different. I was like, that wasn't there before. And that, like, the way you even enter Mexico, the way you come back, like the walk. Remember how we just walked through, like on the side, we walked through, we crossed the bridge and then we walked through.
Right.
Really? No. They built a whole nother building. Like, it's crazy. But people are still out there selling chiclets and all kinds of stuff on the rug. Like, it's still kind of the same on that aspect, but so different. So different. Like, and I was in the car.
We're supposed to go. I don't know if we're gonna make it by the end of the year, but we're supposed to go. With my prima, but we weren't able to make it. So probably next year. She's like, I want to take you to TJ. I can't imagine because she wants to take us to TJ. She wants to take us to the old neighborhood where my mom and all them used to be in the red light district. So I want to see what that looks like now. But all right, really, this is the last. What was that?
Revolucion. That's the red light district.
No, it's like it's Cahuillas, so it's like kind of, but it's the red light. It's like the real red light district.
Okay.
I guess it still is. Who's to say? But so before we wrap it up, last final words for the peoples, for the listeners, for the viewers, because this is the last relatives of 2024.
I mean, I ain't trying to make this all political or nothing, but y'all be safe out there and.
Right.
Hey, do what you got to do to protect yourself. Do what you have to do to stay sane, your mental health, and keep your circles tight. Don't be venturing off with these other people. They not for you. Stay where you know you belong. Stay safe.
Stay safe. No. Always. This is word to your mama. This is relatives. Always be political because that's what we are. Us existing is a fucking political statement.
Please. Yeah.
Please.
I got to get some more shirts. I gotta get some more shirts.
Exactly. All right, Relly, I love you. Thank you for this year, and then let's see what what's in store for us. And I swear we'll finally make it to ending high school.
There's so much. Like, there's always these little snippets, and plus, y'all gotta remember, we are 50, and we are trying to remember that part. So they just come as we live. They
exactly.
But there's still fun times ahead. For sure.
Yeah. All right, then.
Love y'all. Peace.
Love you. Bye. Word to Your Mama is owned and produced by Ritzy P. Intro beat produced by Nico Beats. For partnership inquiries and contact info, check out wordtoyourmama.com. And as always, Word to Your Mama is brought to you by ritzyperiwinkle.com. And now, introducing
the Supernatural Bear Corner.
Supernatural Bear.